Hi everyone, this is Yanis Makula, and in this video I'd like to share an Easter card using a few of my current favorite supplies. I have recently rediscovered vellum and I have been using it on almost every project I can. In this video I'll use it as an additional layer on a simple card. I'm going to start working on my project by stamping a circle using Hero Art's wet cement ink. The stamp that I'm using is also from Hero Arts and it's called Overlap Circle Frame. I think this one was designed to work with the new Hero Arts monogram stamps, but it's perfect to create a wreath. These overlapping circles remind me of a base of a wreath, and you can use it all year round to make a wreath for any season. Today I'm making a spring one, but think fall, think Christmas. So I'm stamping my wreath base in the center of my white panel. This one is cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and I will be trimming it down a bit later. I'm going to use the Stamp and Cut Flowers stamp and die set from Hero Arts to build my wreath. The little flowers and greenery pieces are perfect for building flower clusters and stamping something like this. I've already shared one video using this set on Hero Arts blog and YouTube channel, and I'll link to that one in my video description if you want to check it out. I'm going to use the Simon Says Stamp Sunshine ink to stamp the smallest flower in 5 areas on my wreath. I'm trying to keep the number of the florals to an odd one, so 5 or 7 is the best option, I think. If you use an even number, the wreath is going to look too symmetrical, and we certainly don't want that. I've picked the most vibrant yellow color that I have in my stash, as I wanted these particular flowers to stand out as much as possible. I have found that it's always best to use the most vibrant ink for the smallest element on a project, and use a bit less vibrant colors for a larger element. Next, I'm grabbing the Hero Arts wet cement ink and stamping the second element, which is another flower, I guess. I'm going to stamp this one next to each of the smaller yellow flowers, going along the circles that outline my wreath. I'm using the same color of ink as I used for the base of my wreath, so these two images are going to blend nicely one into the other. If you don't want them to blend, you'll need to pick a darker or maybe a lighter color of ink. I'm not filling the entire wreath area with these flowers, as again, I don't want it to look too symmetrical. The next element, which is another flower image, is going to be stamped using the Hero Arts Butterbar ink, which is a slightly lighter than the Sunshine Yellow, which I used for the small flowers. I'm stamping these trying to make it look like they are sticking out from the wreath. This is also going to help me make my wreath a fuller one. Now that we have a ton of yellow on our project, it's time to come in with some green. I'm using the Forever Green Shadow ink from Hero Arts, and this is a very beautiful dark green color. I'm going to stamp the first greenery onto my design. You will notice that I'm overlapping a lot of the previously stamped images. This is the look that I'm going for. I want the images to overlap as much as possible to make it more realistic. I've stamped quite a lot of these, and to balance that out, I'm going to use a lighter green, a Green Hills ink from Hero Arts, and I'm going to stamp a few more small and large leaves to complete my wreath. I don't think there is a right or wrong way to stamp a wreath, so key is just to add layers and use various colors of ink for those layers. Now, if you don't have an overlap circle frame, like the one that I used to stamp the base of my wreath, you can simply use a pencil or a pen or maybe even a marker and just draw the circles yourself. Or maybe you have a simple circle stamp. You can stamp that image repeatedly to create a similar look. At this point, my wreath is complete. It turned out exactly the way I pictured it, a very full one with beautiful greenery and yellow florals. I'm now simply going to add a small bow to the top using black ink just to give it a more finished look. I also decided to stamp a few branches and berries using the wet cement ink. I felt like I didn't have enough gray on my card, so I simply added a few branches to my design. I want to turn this into an Easter card, so I'm going to use a beautiful Easter die cut from Simon Says Stamp to create a chipboard-like sentiment. Basically, I'm going to cut this word several times at a white cardstock and then adhere the layers together to create one thick die cut. I've shared this technique many times on my YouTube channel before, as this is actually one of my favorite techniques when it comes to die cutting words, like word die cuts and very intricate die cuts. So if I have a sheet of cardstock, I would cover one side of it with the double-sided tape before I cut anything. After I cut the elements out, they instantly have a sticky back, and that makes it super easy to adhere these together. Now, there are lots and lots of different products on the market that you can use to create that sticky back. There are adhesive sheets by Scrapbook Adhesive. There's Stick It by Ken Oliver, and there's sticker maker machines as well. If you don't have any of those products, you can also use the old good paper glue to stick the layers together. It's going to take a little longer, but it will still work. I'm using my tweezers to help me pick up the die cuts and adhere one on top of the other. You can see how easy it is, and I love making these instantly sticky die cuts. They are so much fun and save so much time. So after my die cut word is ready, I'm going to add a layer of vellum on top of my stamped panel. You can skip this if you want a brighter card, but I wanted to have a card with a softer look, softer colors, so I'm going to create those softer colors by adding a screen made out of vellum on top. At this point, my vellum is not adhered. It's not going to be adhered to this card at all. I'm going to stick it in place using a different method, but before I do that, I need to add my die cut sentiment. I'm adhering it at an angle across my wreath. To attach the vellum in place, I've added stitching. I used my sewing machine and basically just followed the circle shape that I have stamped on my card. I did it twice for something extra, for an extra look. I secured the ends of my thread on the back of my paper with another piece of tape. Now you can take this project even one step further by ripping the vellum on the outside of the wreath. You can even turn this into a simple shaker card by adding sequins inside the wreath before you add the stitching. You can also use colored thread, maybe green or gold. I think gold would look absolutely stunning here. I really need to get myself some of that gold thread because I keep talking about it, but I don't have any, and I really think I need some. Okay, at this point, I trimmed my panel with my vellum to about 4 by 5.5 inches and adhered it onto an A2 top folding card base made out of Hero Art's Sunshine cardstock. To finish this project, I decided I needed to add a few gold gems. I placed them around my wreath and also adhered several white sequins from Neat and Tangled. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video tutorial. If you're looking for a list of products to create this card, you can always find them in the video description, on YouTube, and also on my blog. Thanks! If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I have new videos like this coming out every week. Thanks for watching. Bye!